I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to make you lose your mind. The dream is over. Fuck you, bitch. I'd rather rip out my eyes.
Crazy. I get freaking lost under this. So many houses. American as apple pie. I'm so sorry. Stop by, please. Here, please. Is that a person? That looks like a person. I've planted my markers. I need 5 more kills. Fuck yeah, let's go. Sure, there's something over here to fucking move. What's up, man? Oh, it was a person. over right now. The amount of times I run into people trying to get the fuck off this boat is kind of ridiculous. So we shall see. God, my ping is seriously worrying me. What are you doing down there, you crazy dog? What are you doing down there, you crazy? You crazy pup? Hmm? Little buddy, lay down. Lay down. Yeah. fuck is that noise? Holy shit. It sounded like cows were having like a cult meeting or something. They were chanting. Loud. Thunder is so bad. I'm so sorry. it. Two scav kills. Not biting. Yeah, quite a lot of money. Okay. Just need that quest. I need healthcare privacy part 2. Oh 06. I'll just do these two right now.
Down to what your goal is in a conversation. That's gonna be basically what we're arguing over.
Okay,
If your
so
goal
what-
is literally just to like chill with somebody and make them feel comfortable talking about things, then yeah, you can always just outwardly agree with every single premise and never push them on anything. If your goal is to change their mind or to change the mind of an audience or to plant the seeds of change or whatever, like you're gonna have different ways to approach a conversation. Like I would never approach a conversation with somebody that I vehemently disagree with over those many premises. I would never approach that and just like, oh yeah, okay, well let's assume that black people are like murderous people or whatever. Except for maybe for like a fringe hypothetical, I'm probably not going to go down that road. But I maybe have a
think
little
I
bit of a
will.
goal. Sure, you might. Okay.
I plan to.
Okay. Fair, you can do what you want.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so for this conversation about consent, did you watch the video I sent you?
No, I didn't have a chance yet. I watched
Big man's
you
too
did like
busy.
some
Big-
48-minute one, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I know. So okay, so you understand because I explained that video to her in the other video.
Yeah.
So I heard some of the stuff you were saying, and you disagreed with me on some points, and I'm here to show you that you're wrong. No, I like what it. So I want to talk about it because I think it will be a valuable conversation, and I think that we might. I don't know. I guess I just want to see what happens, but I'm coming into it in a more combative stance of like, you said I was wrong in public,
Okay, sure.
and so now I'm here.
Okay, I do that a lot,
And-
so go ahead.
Yeah, you're used to that. So, what about you? Where's your like? I don't think your stance is immoral. I don't have a really problem with your stance. It's more just like I don't think it's nuanced enough, or I think you're being unfair to my stance. But it's not. It's not like I don't feel like I should change your mind. Whereas I feel like your stance, your view of my stance is a little bit more like what you're saying is kind of irresponsible.
Yeah, or I would view in a conversation, my goal would be to change your mind. Not that we have two different points of view on something. I would say that your point of view leads to things that I would consider like should be avoided, morally wrong or whatever. So I would hope to change your view on it, basically.
Okay, so how do we handle that? This has been coming up a lot for me in the past week, where it's not just that people disagree with me, it's that they think that I am doing evil by saying what I'm thinking. And I don't think you're going to take it to that extent, but how do we handle when you think my stance is evil and I think your stance is just like not as expansive or maybe not as nuanced as I think it should be, but I don't think it's necessarily evil. I think it maybe doesn't serve us as well.
Sure, I mean, it happens. I mean, it depends. What do you mean? Or what do you mean?
I mean, how do we handle that in the conversation?
Well,
like,
my goal would be to change your mind. If I don't change your mind, you just don't change your mind. It is what it is, right? I don't know if it approaches or if it changes things much. I mean, you can feel more resentful, I guess, if you think I'm being judgmental or something, but if you wish.
Yeah, I don't feel resentful.
Okay, not yet.
I just think it makes the. I guess you probably won't fall into this. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it makes the debate more complicated when one person feels that the other person is going to go out and encourage and or commit rape if they.
Look at my. Oh, sweet. This is the opposite side of the map from where I want to be. Very cool. Ow, ow, ow. I wish I knew where all the dashes were. Dope. All the food. Very cool. Oh, this one sucks so much, dude. Holy shit. The fucking guy, dude. Oh my god. Holy shit. What a shot. Damn. Well, this. Trying. Alright, I think the best way for me to go is just all the way fucking around. Wait, am I this overweight already, dude? Holy shit. This is not gonna be a fun raid for me. Is it really only one shot? Oh, that's bonkers, dude. Cracked. Alright, bud. Keep doing fat ass. I guess. Fucking one time. Oh. Hell yeah. I was curious.
It is what it is.
Oh, this one sucks so much, dude. Holy shit. Oh, this one sucks so much, dude. Dude, if you shoot him in the face, every ammo is broken. It's all busted. Executive decision here and cut this shit out, 'cause that's heavy as shit. Which is why. Helmet puts me over. That's bad, man. Oh shit, I'm so much closer than I thought I was. I do not want to do this. This is my fucking thing. Jojo, buddy, dude, chill out. You're crazy today, dog. You're fucking crazy today. You're moving around, you're jumping, you're knocking things over. What's the deal? It's a beefy little thing. Challenge I picked up is too much for me. Just a little too much. Unless I cut it down. Oh, listen up. I don't think that... Are you worth more than... I feel like there's that. I really need my ping to chill out. A little mindful of people coming down from the resort, I think. fucking Crusper's gonna get me killed. I think it's really dumb the wait time to drop items off. What the hell? Hello? A good dog? $30 to place the fucking tool too? What the fuck? Seven, 6, 5, 2, 1. We did it. Where? I have no idea where the fuck that guy is. I don't even know if it's there. Where did I put my backpack? a little rat dog, dude. Chill out, buddy. Chill out. I don't know what's wrong with you. Take a chill pill, buddy. Take a chill pill. You crazy boy. Is that what you're doing? Are you rubbing your butt on the crate? Are you rubbing your butt on my cable management tray? You shithead, go lay down. Go lay down, buddy. Goodness. You're a handful today. Alrighty. Where am I with you? 725. So you no. You go there. You go there. Go there. Okay, so now I need. Need a mark. Change. So we need 4 markers. Next Punisher is Nope.
Lose the argument.
I guess it's kind of like I'm trying to think of a comparison. It's like when somebody is like pro-life or anti-abortion, and the other person is like pro-abortion or pro-choice. Like the pro-life person feels an extra compulsion there to like, I need to change your mind. And the pro-choice person is like, well, you can do whatever you want, you know, it's cool. But the pro-life person is like, well, okay, well, it's not cool.
Yeah, and I hate that. I hate that.
Well, of course you would, because you're on the other side that's not doing the moral compulsion. But I think it's valid for the other person to be like, I really want to change your mind.
No. I hate that about pro-choice people.
Oh, well, why? Isn't that just what you said, but like you want to be those people?
Because I think it should be acknowledged. I think that's what I'm trying to do for you. Like in this case, I am the pro-choice person and you're the pro-life person.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that the outset of any abortion disagreement, it should be acknowledged that the pro-life people think you're killing a baby.
Sure.
And like your premise is different, but I think it should be acknowledged like they have a right to be upset if that's what they think is happening. But the conversation always starts with, what I do with my body has nothing to do with you. And it's like that
It's a
is
little
not
silly.
what they think.
Yeah.
It's very silly and it's unfair. And I think that if people could emotionally empathize with what it's like to believe that like half of the country wants to actually murder babies, I feel like the conversation would be a lot more productive.
For sure.
Okay, so I guess that's a good first question. How upsetting do you find my stance?
I mean, I think it falls in line with a lot of contemporary cultural thought. So I mean, it's not that upsetting. It's just I disagree with it. But
Okay, but you don't feel like I'm killing babies.
no, I'm not at that level of anger, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. 1 out of 10. What level of anger are you at?
I don't know, probably like a 2 or a 3 or a 4, maybe up to a 4.
Okay.
But maybe if I watched the
wouldn't-
original video, maybe it would move me a little bit up or down. I don't know.
Yeah, probably up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, do you want me to? Who? I feel like you like going second, but do you want to go first?
I can do whatever you want. I like essentially the problem that I had was, and might be a problem that we come up to a lot because it seems like
Okay.
I agree with like 95% of what you say, but then you'll take it one step over what I think is defensible. So
Okay.
I think that there is a lot of unwritten, non-verbalized negotiation that goes along with consenting to sexual activity.
Yes.
But when you get to the point where somebody is actually saying no to you, I think that it takes a lot to overcome that.
Okay.
More than just like a look in the eyes.
Okay, so you're saying that mixed messages happen, but that a mixed message when the no message is verbal and the yes message is nonverbal, should always be a full stop.
I think that you err on the side of caution for two reasons.
Or you're saying it should take an enormous amount of...
Yeah. So like for an example, like there was okay, I won't say it. There's a girl that I used to date for 4 years and I had a child with. I won't say who it is, okay? But she has a thing where she would almost sometimes like reject me or say no, but she would always want me to push more, and she would complain about it sometimes the next day, and she would do that a lot. And eventually I kind of learned like, but that was in the course of like, we're in a long-term relationship and I have a really good feel for what's going on, and I know the kind of person
she explicitly told you.
Yes, and I know that if she really didn't want something to happen, that she could beat the shit out of me. Like we're good on that. But on a first time with somebody, there's so much that I don't know that I would always err on the side of caution rather than, I want to find a different word for this conversation because I don't want to taint it a certain way. But like I would err on the side of caution rather than like accidentally rape somebody is what I would say. That's a really loaded phrase. So you're already starting on a really bad.
I have to change the title of the stream now to Mr. Girl and Destiny debate accidental rape. Wait, can I have rape in the title of the stream?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, I'll just leave it consent then.
Okay, that's probably good. Yeah.
Okay. You're helping me. Okay. Okay, so you acknowledge that any of those times with your ex, despite giving, okay, do we agree that somebody being able to beat you up or leave the room or call the police or whatever and not doing that doesn't mean that you didn't rape them?
Correct.
So that can't be the safe word.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
And you didn't actually have a safe word.
I was probably too immature at the time. No, not really, no.
Okay. So do we agree that despite
Too bad the outposts went on the main road. I honestly don't know what's happening. Oh, sketchy shit. Alright, I go. Don't appreciate it. Don't appreciate it at all. Oh my. Fucking guy's back. This is fucked. It never stops, man. It never stops. Leave me alone. I just want to go plant my beacons. Hello? You still over here? Buddy? Buddy? We can talk this out. Hello? Don't shoot. I am friendly. Okay. There's so much shit going on. I know I fucking heard something on metal, I just don't know if it was... Jesus Christ. It's crazy, some shit's happening. What the fuck? Okay. Take it easy, bud. I'm gonna be far away. Far, far away. I can take that too. Try that, okay? Okay. Perhaps. Where's that bitch? Oh, fuck off. So rude. Minding my own damn business. Cocaine Dave. Poor guy didn't stand a chance. What are you saying?
Oh, the gun's terrible. You're right. Gun is terrible.
For telling you in advance, I hereby consent to all sex. Unless I make it really clear somehow. That consent does not actually cover everything. That's why it has to be enthusiastic, continuous, enthusiastic consent. That's why like consent advocates prefer that.
Sure, maybe.
Okay, so there is some chance of accidental rape in what you were doing, but a much, much lower chance than on the first date, like what I did.
Yeah, I would agree. So like for an example that I've given before for why sometimes verbally checking is good, I'll give an example of me accidentally raping someone. We need a new phrase for this. But it's hard to tell.
That actually was
you think it's a good one? Sometimes when when you're sexually interacting with somebody for the first time, it's really hard to tell the difference between what feels good and what feels bad, because I think the noises are the exact same. When somebody's like, oh, yeah, and like it could be like, oh no, why'd you stop? Or it could be like,
right.
Yeah. And I remember there was a girl that I was making out with, and I was fingering her for a little bit, and I thought that she was kissing me back, and it was good. I thought she was like kind of into it, and then I kind of there's like feelings that you get like if in the vagina or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I can't tell, and I ended up asking her, I was like, is this okay? Like, do you feel okay? And she's like, no, actually, for like the last 5 minutes, this has been really uncomfortable. And I was like, oh. So then I stopped.
See, that's her fault.
Oh, okay, hold on, chill.
That's her fault.
Kind of, but kind of not. So the difficulty I think in navigating these situations is that there's so much at play emotionally when it comes to a sexual interaction that I don't always think that people are in the right state of mind. And I think that inhibits somebody's ability, almost like a drug, to navigate those things in the best manner.
Absolutely.
So I'm really boring. I'm very flawed when it comes to all of this. Before I fuck anybody, I usually like to have had explicit conversations over what's on the table or what's not on the table, because I know that here's like a really common thing, okay? I don't like, sometimes talking about this feels weird because it feels like a rape guide, basically. I don't mean it to sound that way, but for any girl that says that she needs a condom to fuck, for a lot of these people, in the heat of the moment, you could like, I want to come in now, like, do you want me to get the condom or do you want me to just fuck you? A lot of them are like, just fuck me. Like, a lot of them will do that. Even though that's not really what they want, and afterwards, they're going to feel bad about it. And beforehand, they said they didn't want to do it. But in the heat of the moment, you can get people to do a lot of things that they wouldn't necessarily otherwise. And I think that capitalizing on that or not being aware of that, I think is a bad thing sometimes, which is why, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So you're saying a temporary horniness-induced inebriation.
Sure.
Where people can be talked into things even though they just said they wouldn't want to.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily. Yeah. When you're horny, I think you can get into a lot of dumb shit like that. Yeah.
So you're saying a horny woman can't consent?
I mean, I wouldn't.
In a way.
I wouldn't make
You're saying you got to check the temperature before horny and during horny. Compare them if they're the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it that black and white. I'm just saying I would always err on the side of caution here.
Yeah.
So like, for like a horny woman can't consent, I would say that like, unless I know the person really well, I would be really nervous about them introducing new things while they're horny, because I don't know if they feel okay with that or not.
Right, when they're like, just punch me in the fucking face.
Sure.
Okay. So wait, but you're kind of changing the subject when you're talking about advising caution. Mm-hmm. As if I'm not advising caution. Are we talking about the advice portion of like how to actually implement our different worldviews?
When I say advising caution, I'm very much in the world of like reading body signals and checking in everything. Whereas you were doing it way past that, where you're like, well, even if she says no, I'm going to go in because I think I can read past that, which I think is a way bigger step forward than what I'm talking about.
It's an advanced maneuver.
That is one way to call it. It is a very advanced maneuver.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so do drugs, or suffocation, or physical abuse, or there's a lot of things that work, right?
No, I mean, it worked in the sense that, she was like, that was nice. Let's hang out again. I like you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I think
it worked in any measurable sense. It was no different from if I hadn't done that.
Yeah, but I think we have to do this as like a numbers game. Like, it might work sometimes, but
I think we should. I think we should slow down.
My bad. Okay.
I'm giving the yellow light.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood. We're not stopping.
Do you want to talk?
Yeah, chill right here. Okay.
Do you want to talk about the practical applications of this, or do you want to get into like definitions of like what is rape? What is consent? How do we know when a rape happened?
The what is rape is actually a really boring semantic thing for me. I don't really care that much. It's I think that everybody's, especially if you're a teenager and you're getting, I think everybody's raped somebody at one point in time. That might sound really controversial, but like all of the early teenage like messing around is like doing everything you can to convince the girl to fuck you, and oftentimes people are fucking drinking, and there's a what. So like I'm not really as concerned over like what is rape defining. I'm more like what are responsible sexual practices that we can engage in, and then what should we try to avoid. I'm not as concerned about labeling things as like rape or sexual assault. It's just not something.
Well, I think my problem with that is I would be interested in getting into that with you. But
if you want to, sure.
I do, because I mean, what you just suggested to me is that maybe we need a moving definition of rape. So if you have a 50-year-old who's behaving like a 15-year-old, that might be rape. I think that's a really good point that you just raised. Because like a 15-year-old, you know, fumbling around and ripping your bra off and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, you're right. It's not that unusual, but you know, a much older person acting like that, then it's like
exactly the same behavior, right? If you've got a 15-year-old begging another 15-year-old, like they both get drunk, they're underage, like please, can I have sex? Please, can we just do this? Like let me just do this.
Normal, right?
Kind of, yeah. But like a 30-year-old doing that to a 20-year-old, even. This is like really wrong now. Like you're fucking up like really hard. But maybe not actually. What if it's the first time they've ever gotten a girl naked, right? So it's like, it's a very hard thing, right? What if it's a 30-year-old virgin and a 20-year-old with lots of experience, and the 30-year-old is pushing for it, and the 20-year-old knows it? It's such a complicated thing. The problem with the word rape is rape brings in with it a lot of moral condemnation, and we instantly think of in an alley, two guys violently sexually raping a girl. That's like the thought that comes up, rather than I got a girl kind of drunk and we were both underage and I finally got to fuck her, and like you probably shouldn't do that, but you're both teens, you're both dumb. It's not acceptable, you shouldn't do it, but there's a way different level of moral condemnation that should exist there, and people oftentimes lose that. That's why I'm not too concerned about like arguing over the word itself. We can if you want, but
I want to, because
I'm saying rape is on a spectrum.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was gonna say, like pedophilia, for me, the point of my consent is complicated video, this is why I call it consent is complicated.
Sure.
Is that I think all sex involves some element of rape.
Okay.
That you can look at any sex act and find some element of coercion and or self-coercion, so that some part of you is doing something it doesn't want to.
So this is where
of you knows the other
we're gonna
is ambivalence.
We're gonna disagree over like what coercion means, I guess, or something. Then, like, what do you mean when you say that? I guess this is before we start this, I'm making a prediction here. I think that we probably 100% agree on every single thing you're about to say, but I feel like you're about to say it in the most unbelievably edgy way possible, using the worst words possible. So we're gonna argue over it, but we'll see. Okay, let's go.
I'm glad you think so highly of me. No, what I mean by coercion is, say that your girlfriend has not given you a blowjob, even though she knows you really like blowjobs. She hasn't given you one in like 2 months.
Okay.
And she's also been telling you that you should clean out the garage.
I like where this conversation's going. Sounds like Gojo, buddy. Gojo! Shit! You little shithead! Ah, you little shithead! Oh, hell yeah! Let's go! Let's go! You little shithead! You little shithead! What? No, I didn't say you could get up. I did not say you could come up. I did not say. You shit. kinda. I may have just postponed my life long enough to actually make it past this day. That's gonna count the cross. Maybe. Possibly. Hopefully. I need to use the bathroom. Motherfucker! Cross, hug, mark, mark. Literally extracted next to one of the fucking things. I'm an idiot, dude. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, that's not. Alright, well, that's what I'm going. Okay. Oh god, there are two down there? Fuck me. God, I'm really fucking bad at this. Holy shit. Although look at that. asshole. God damn it. God, dude, fuck everything, man. God, I was so unlucky. Holy shit! There's like 3 people over there shooting at me, and these cats are just fucking nailing on me, dude. Ugh. Peen sniper. That's the second time that guy's got me, I think. Ugh, that's so irritating. Ugh, that quest could have been over with about half a fucking brain. I think I should have just, like, sat behind and then tried to fucking kill the guy that was shooting at me. Him blacking out my leg and the second fucking shot super fucked me. I must be having fun up there, dude.
And then you do it, and then she gives you a blowjob that day. I feel like, for me, if that happened to me, some part of me, I guess that's not a good example of coercion, but some part of me would be feeling like, is this just happening because I cleaned out the garage? And I would feel like that's kind of gross, and like I kind of don't like this, but I do like it, and I'm gonna let it happen anyway. Even though some part of me, and I might even say like, hey, this is freaking me out. Are you just doing this? And then but like they don't know. And I just feel like because there's an existing relationship, or say someone you don't know, and then you take them on a date, and then they look at the menu and you get to the place, and then all the entrees are like $80, and they've never been to a really, fancy restaurant before, and then they feel obligated to have sex with you because you just bought them like a $300 dinner or something. I feel like that kind of thing could feel coercive to the person, even if it's not intended.
Sure.
And I think that you can always, in any sex act, I think you can always find something that is on a spectrum from in an alley to a gun to your head, or I just bought you an expensive meal at a place that you'd never been to,
Yeah.
and then kind of insisted on driving you home, like you were giving the
I think
example.
that these things can happen, but my question is like, it's not always this, right? Like, what if you just have like two people, they enjoy fucking, it's like, hey, do you want to come over and like watch Netflix and fuck tonight or whatever? Like, yeah, sure, and then come over. Like, where is the coercive aspect there?
I just think it's never that simple. I feel like
What about people in like long-term wait, no, what do you mean it's never that simple? Or explain.
a hookup or a long-term relationship.
Either one. You can have like casual hookups, no?
I don't think so. I think that falls apart quickly, and it becomes something other than a casual hookup if it keeps going on.
I mean, it might at some point become more than casual hookup, but then we'll just
I
switch
think it
gears.
inevitably does. I don't think you can have a casual hookup. I don't think there's a certain number of times you can have sex with somebody before you are emotionally entwined with them. It's kind of like debating on Twitch. After a certain number, it no longer becomes casual.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think this is important to this, but so then we'll say then even within the context of like a relationship then, what like do you think every single like there can't be a time where like a boyfriend or girlfriend like, hey, like we should fuck tonight, like, oh yeah, cool, and then they do it and that's just like enjoyable, that there's never a mutual meeting of the minds there?
No, I'm not saying there isn't.
The furthest away from where I want to be, because I have this fucking quest up. So irritating. Chalada. I'm just gonna go in. Fuck it. Come on. I have to deal with these fucking people, man. Gotta be quick, though, or I'm gonna fucking do it people anyway. Not you, dude. Please stop.
Пацаны, валим! Барани, чёрт! Будьте проклят! Хуярь меня!
So many fucking scavs, man.
I'm saying that even the most ideal
many
sex
stabs.
still has some element of coercion.
Well, what would the
there-
element of coercion be there then?
That one of you feels obligated to, or it's a routine. It's date night, or it's Valentine's Day, and it's like, even the fact that you might not know why you're doing what you're doing, I think
What'd you give me?
necessarily means that there's some confusion about whether you even want to do it. I don't think that there's ever a time where we are. I think we can compartmentalize, and I don't think it's necessary to deeply investigate, like, I really want to have sex, but let me stop and think, like, is there any part of me that doesn't want to have sex, or does any part of me feel pressured into this or forced into this?
Well, I think it's pretty
There's
important.
not really a reason to do that.
I think there is a reason, because if we're saying that like everything is coercive, then nothing is coercive. Because with the definition,
I'm saying it's a spectrum, just like you said. I'm saying all sex is rape to a certain degree.
well, yeah, but like this spectrum becomes so like pointless that like I can define every. Do you agree? To this? I can define every single action we do as life as having some aspect of coercion to it. Then, no, like literally everything.
Yeah.
So my only issue there then is I feel like there's not much utility to that definition because
That's not my definition. I'm saying the definition is a point on the spectrum that we decide is rape. Not the presence of coercion, but how much coercion. Kind of like pedophilia. It's not, are you attracted to 3-year-olds? It's how much.
Okay, I think I agree 100%. I just calling it out coercion just seems really reductive, but I'll probably agree. Sure, for the sake of
I don't mean to call it coercion. I think there's an element of affection, an element of pleasure, and an element of consent and happiness to all sex acts too. It's just where is the slider?
Sure. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily disagree.
Like you can enjoy being raped, and that doesn't mean it's not rape. And you can hate having consensual sex, and that doesn't mean it wasn't consensual. It's just a confusing mess.
Sure.
And
I wouldn't say it's a confusing mess, but it can be confusing. There's a lot of nuance, okay? But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I feel like the only way to define these things is to we can have your own personal preference for like if I think you're giving me a blowjob because I cleaned out the garage, I don't want it. I don't want it. And then other people would say like, yeah, go down on me. Sure, I earned it. Fuck you.
Okay.
I made you dinner. Suck it. And they're fine with that.
Okay.
And I think for every, or like, oh yeah, like if you buy me a nice enough dinner, then yeah, I'll have sex with you. I think
Sure.
that everybody has their own personal guide for when they feel like they've been violated.
Sure.
When they feel
I
like
don't think I
they're-
disagree. I'll hand with anything you're saying.
And when they feel like they violated somebody else, and then we need a kind of objective legal definition of like, because you can't decide you've legally been raped. Other people do that. So then we have like a societal norm definition and like a legal definition.
Okay, gotcha.
But I guess my only point in all this is to say that I agree with you that there's also an element of consent in all rape too. The same spectrum applies much more disturbingly.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, again, I would never use these words, but you say, why didn't you fight them off, or why didn't you try to... Yeah, sure, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, unless you died...
Yeah, getting
to
raped,
escape.
then you consented to some extent. I understand what you're saying.
Never left the dog. Kick in the gojo. Kick in the gojo. Kick in the gojo. Right in the ribs. Well, no way. Fuck off. Oh, you weren't even looking at me, my guy. Suck my dick. Fucking irritating. Fucking annoying. Oh, dude. Fucking kidding me. So many fucking people up there, man. Why? There's never fucking people there. Really getting me there, dude. Oh, there's no fucking way. There is it. Chill, dog. I'm gonna get this fucking quest done, dude. I mean, it's gonna fucking happen. One of these days, there aren't going to be people fucking sitting up there on that ridge like a bunch of little fucking bitches. One of these days, it's gonna happen. It's gonna fucking happen. This is the 4th fucking time in a row. Just go play the game somewhere. Just go, like, do the thing. Just go out. Go out upon the world. Leave the fucking rock. A bunch of pussies. Holy shit. No, Xbox, fuck you.
Socially, your words are impossible. You're not going to get anybody to agree with you.
Except you, and that's why I'm here.
Sure. Logically, I could follow you, but in terms of how language is used, we're in pretty weird, uncharted territory. Or the issue, I guess, that I have here is, can I mirror our favorite mutual friend, Vaush?
Yeah.
So Vaush attacks capitalism because he says many lefties will do this. They'll say that
Wait. Are you making an argument about consent or about talking about this? How to talk about this?
about coercion.
Okay.
Some lefties will say everything in a capitalist society is coercive. Now, I mean, well, what do you mean when you say that? It's like, well, if you don't work, you'll starve. Well, and it's like, okay, well, what do you, like, what do you mean? Well, like, if you don't work, okay, you're forced to work. Well, not for a specific company, sure, but for any company, you have to work, otherwise you're going to die. And it's like, okay, well, if you have to voluntarily work at any number of places to get a paycheck to voluntarily buy and choose what you need in society, like, is that really coercion? At that point, isn't everything coercion? Like your mom and dad talking to you?
You have to eat. If you don't eat, you'll starve too. Like you have to go to the kitchen to...
So my issue usually when people like Vosh bring out that definition, or any leftists in general, I usually say, when you use the word coercive here, what you're trying to do, and I understand you're not trying to do this, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to smuggle in all of the moral condemnation of the word coercion, but then you've watered down what it actually is such that I don't actually give a fuck about it. There might be some forms of coercion that are not only like neutral, they're morally good. Maybe it's good when a parent coerces a child into doing their homework, right? But usually, but the way that we use words like coercion usually they carry with it kind of this malintent behind it, and when we try to divorce those two things, the conversation becomes unfollowable to the vast majority of people, except for anybody else that's like engaged in our like intellectual masturbation here about coercion. It's kind of like saying like manipulation is just when you change somebody's mind about things. So a teacher manipulates a child to believe that 2 + 2 = 4. It's like, well, I mean, if we call that,
that's true. That's true.
Well, but no, because
like
manipulation.
I like that.
I don't like that because it makes
I love it.
The problem then is that every negotiation is coercion. Every form of conversation is manipulation. Like we take these words that are generally reserved to imply a double meaning or imply something secondary, and now we've like stripped all of that nuance from the language, and now we're just saying, well, everything is this and everything's that, and then I think it kind of makes these words boring or useless. Is my problem.
Because you think the audience will not be receptive to it,
and because we like those words no longer have.
But what if
any
it was
meaning.
if it was just you and me? If we were just like, you know. If we were having lunch.
If it was just you and me were having lunch, every time you do this, I would say, why are you so autistic about how you use words? You're pissing me off. I think that's what I would say. Because the issue is that we no longer...
But then I would answer.
Uh-huh.
And the answer is, I think there are certain ideas and acknowledgements about the nature of sex. Something that's so nuanced and multifaceted, and like we have so much ambivalence about it that we can't get to unless we use words the way that I'm trying to use them, or we write a very long academic paper, which I don't want to do.
I would just say that you're just completely wrong. I think that we can have words like coercion and manipulate mean the things they do for the reasons they do. And then when we talk about something like sex, it's like consent is very, very, very complicated.
See, I think if you say to somebody there's some element of consent in all rape, to some people that's very offensive and upsetting.
To the vast majority of people.
I don't think so. I think to people who have been raped, who see the messaging being, if you were raped, it's not your fault at all. You did nothing wrong. You are a complete victim.
But you're saying you're saying it's kind of your fault because you were raped and you didn't die, right?
Yeah.
So like it's your fault on a spectrum, but very low on the spectrum. Yeah.
Don't set me up. Let me explain, because I have to say yes to that, but I don't want to.
Were you saying I coerced you into that answer?
Kind of. Because you're saying you're making fun of me for being edgy, but then you're saying that I have to say something edgy or I have to pussy out, and you know what?
Well, I'm not trying to make you say something edgy. So, I'm just showing you that like or go ahead, finish your thing before you. Yeah.
I think that some people who have been raped, especially with the unnuanced way we talk about it, or I would even say a lot of people who have been raped, have to compartmentalize their feelings that it was their fault, because other people can't accept that. And they can't handle it. And so I think they end up telling themselves and telling other people, I'm a victim, I'm a survivor, I'm not even a victim, I'm a survivor. And all these euphemisms and basically taking the part of themselves that knows that they might have been able to stop it and didn't, and just crushing it. And I want to talk about it in a way that tells those people that just because you didn't stop it, that doesn't make it not rape. Just because it was partly your fault, if that's what you believe, that might be true, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't make it not rape. It matters in terms of how you process it and how you think about it. I don't think telling people who feel guilt or shame that their guilt and shame is for no reason, and that it's detached from reality, and that they should just adopt. It's a political stance.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think you can.
Okay.
I think you can accomplish all of that without trying to use these words this way. I think all of that is well within our reach, because we whether we know it or not, when we use a word like consent or coercion, we're not actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Fuck you! God damn it, man. I think I just go all the way around. I just say fuck it. Yeah, that's what I'm do. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to be on this fucking quest anymore. I'll take the longest way around possible. I'll fucking rat in a goddamn corner somewhere before I fucking run that again and run into those fucks on the hill. Ugh. Who's shooting it? I think. I'm gonna try it. God damn it. I'm gonna die. I'm hoping that shooting is enough to fucking just pull some people that way. on, you can do it. You can play the game and not camp. Oh, hey, fuck off. Alright, listen here, buddy. I didn't ask for you or your fucking opinion on jack shit, motherfucker. Thank you, Jeebus. Cool. Cool. Okay. Devastation. Devastated. That's where I need to go, though. I'm trying to know if I can make it out of this grade, or if I can just leave. Surviving. That's a bummer. Stop it. All I want. I want to stab your ass. Go away.
Really talking about, did somebody do something? That's not really what we're talking about. What we're really talking about is we're getting at this idea. It's a more intuitive concept called agency. That's really what we're getting at. When you say something like, did you consent to this thing? What we're really asking is, if you were a free agent able to make a decision without any external pressure, would you have made this decision? That's really what we're saying when we say consent. You're using.
I know, but how do you tell the rape victim it was your fault a little bit? How does
Yeah, very easily. We say
emotional-
things like, hey, there are things that we can do in life to try to like avoid risky situations, and these are the ways we take care of ourselves. Like we can say that whole statement without ever saying it's a little bit your fault you got raped.
I think it's more important. I think it's better form to bite the bullet there, because if you say it the way you're saying it, I think a rape victim will hear that and say, wait, are you just saying it's my fault? And I think at some point you have to just stand for that and say yes.
The reason why it gets hard to say, this is turning into a conversation about ethics. The reason why it's hard to say that like it's your fault is because there's another moral agent on the other side of that transaction. There is another like person.
We've already condemned the rapist. That's
yeah,
the
but
problem.
when we say that like it's
victim-
your fault or something, we're kind of sort of removing the agency from the rapist, and then we're
Yes,
yeah.
to some degree,
But
that's true.
Not really. And
I think it is absolutely true that in the vast majority of rapes, which I believe are relationship rapes and date rapes between people who know each other, it is not as simple as 100% or 99% culpability on the aggressor and 0 to 1% culpability on the victim. I think it is much more complicated than that.
I
With
agree.
a lot of moving parts that I think that in order to politically process that is very simple. You just say, oh, it's the rapist's fault and you did nothing wrong. Done. But that leaves the victims with our public dialogue about it. And this is why I made the video, is that our dialogue about it does not have any room for mixed feelings or confusion in victims of rape, or even for talking about rape. And it removes people's inability to even know when they're being raped.
Sure,
Because they might think like,
every time
I do like this.
Yeah, every time you start talking, I agree with every single thing you're saying. I just disagree that we have to relabel the words like this to say these things. Because you were just able to talk all of that without saying like, I need to be able to say it was your fault you got raped a little bit. Like there is like a million other ways to make that statement.
I think that the anger that a rape victim will feel at being told, like, you know what, I have a different framework, that that whole thing of like nothing's your fault and you didn't do anything wrong, and you just have to take your shame and your guilt and just stuff it. I think that there's going to be a burst of rage.
Well, what
when
is
you
the shame?
tell them,
sorry, go ahead.
I think there's going to be a burst of rage when you tell them, like, actually I have a different framework, and then you go into kind of cleaner, hyper intellectual language to present the new framework. They're going to bring it back to the emotional place. They're going to say, are you saying this is my fault? I think it's better to just head it off and say, I'm saying that to some degree it's your fault. That doesn't mean you weren't raped.
Where do you think all the anger and everything from being raped or whatever comes from? Where do you think a lot of that comes from?
The shame or the anger at the rapist? I think there's two. I think you're angry at the rapist. You're angry at yourself. You're angry at society. You're angry at your stupid friends downstairs who didn't notice you got taken upstairs. You're angry at your parents for not teaching you to defend yourself. You're angry at your alcoholic father and alcoholic grandfather for passing down this alcoholism gene to you. Like, there's a million things.
There
that you
are,
could be
but I
angry